Hey,
Mom and dad are fighting again.
oh
Or dad and
no.
dad.
Mom and mom?
Mom and mom. Mom and mom are fighting again. It was like E3 Part 2 this week.
Yeah,
Part
it
one.
was. I loved it.
Welcome to the next episode of VGXL. I'm your host, Daniel, aka Games. Joining me again is the beautiful Fefer from the channel Fefer. And this week is Sony State of Play versus Nintendo Farming Direct. Oh man. And if you're not already following, definitely give us a follow at VGXL Podcast or Video Games X Life everywhere else. If you're watching on Twitch, hello to everyone on Twitch as we are live today. And where can we find you, Fefer?
You can find me on Twitch at Fefer, on TikTok and Twitter at Fefer Plays, and on Instagram, Fefer Plays with 2 S's.
All right. Yeah, so a lot of stuff happened this week. There was a surprise announcement after Nintendo announced their Direct and PlayStation announced their State of Play, which we have covered. So if you haven't already, definitely check out the reaction videos. Fefer did the reaction to the Nintendo event as I was at work because unfortunately I have a day job. And we both hosted or reacted to the Sony event, which was that decent, I would say. So
okay.
Again, check out the YouTube and you'll see those videos there. But yeah, like I said, there's a lot to cover, so let's jump right into it. But
Heck
first,
yes.
what have you played this week, Fefer?
Lots of Yakuza and Fortnite,
Oh man.
but mostly Yakuza.
Yeah, same.
Kiwami 2,
Yup.
to be more specific.
Yeah.
Because
Mm-hmm.
of that special showcase in the middle of the week there.
Yeah, because in the middle of everything I just mentioned with the Sony event and the Nintendo event, then we were like, Wednesday's supposed to be a RGG, and we were like, oh, like Yakuza 8. I figured something Yakuza 8 was gonna happen, but I guess we could just mention all that right now, since we're already talking about it.
Oh yeah, of course.
Right. So they went and they mentioned, so before even Yakuza 8, they go ahead and in the Sony event, we had already seen that they what is it called? Like a Dragon Ishin. And as soon as I saw Samurais, I was like, that's it. I was like, I already knew that's what it was because this is at the Sony event, that is. Because I had heard about it. Apparently it's it's one that takes place in the late I forget what the name of the period is, but it's supposed to be like how the samurai ended, whatnot. This is gonna tell that story, which was amazing, right? Like them bringing back some of the big actors. If you played Yakuza 0, which is still one of the best Yakuza games that released, the main like bad guys, the antagonists, they're like the mafiosos of the families. They use these real actors for that, so they're bringing those guys back for Ishin and and stuff like that. So that looked really exciting.
Exactly. And right off the bat, if you've played any of the Yakuzas, or let's say even 0 specifically, and then you begin to listen to that trailer and you hear the voices right off the bat, like it had that tingle in my ears, like I'm like, who's speaking right now? I'm like, this is exciting, and I don't even know what's going on just yet. I just hear a voice and it's great. I'm so excited, which is why we're jumping back into the Yakuza series.
Yeah, that totally made me want to play. I haven't felt like playing Yakuza because I got Yakuza out. Like we've talked off stream. Like I went from I played 0, fell completely in love with the game. I was not expecting, the game that I got out of that. And hold on one second, I forgot to tweet and stuff. We live.
Oh.
Well, I'm gonna say in Discord first, and then I'll worry about tweet later. So yeah, like I played Yakuza 0, I played Yakuza 1, or Kiwami rather, and then right after that, I jumped right into Kiwami 2 because I was just on a Yakuza kick, and that's when I finally got burnt out. Like the like like they're great games, interesting stories, but the routine is the same. I mean, right? You know, like you go into, you know, you start in Camarocho or something of the sort, and you know, and or Sotenbori, and you end up just running around there finding quests, you know, while unlocking the story, like, you know, or rather unraveling the story. And
Absolutely.
it's just Japanese soap opera goodness. It's just like twists and
It's so
turns. It's
good.
so good. But yeah,
So
I
good.
finally got burnt out, put it down, and I'm realizing now as I'm watching you play that I played like maybe an hour of the game. You know, like, you know,
I mean,
before
if you really gunned it through it, then that's a good maybe 3 hours, honestly.
that's probably
Because
what I did because I was burnt out. So I probably was skipping side quests unless I bumped right into it. And
yeah,
that's what it is with those games. You get into a side quest, you think, oh, like whatever, I don't have to do the side quest, but then it sounds interesting because you end up getting stuck reading it, and it's just like, what do you mean you lost your chicken or your pants or you shit your pants or you need help being a better, you know,
dominatrix.
dominatrix? Yeah, like
Yes,
they get so interesting that it's like sometimes you can't just help you can't help yourself. You got to just go complete the quest. Like, you know what, I'm gonna go find
exactly.
this I'm gonna go buy that porn magazine out of the vending machine, kid. Like, I have to do it for you.
Exactly. Like, what's
uh
this video about? I don't know. Wait, you need help taking photos? I'll photograph you. You do so many different side quests, there's so many different things for you to do just in general in the game. You can go sing karaoke, you can go play darts, you can do all
yeah,
these different hobbies on the side in the game. And it's just so much, it's so immersive that you just lose yourself, and then an hour and a half later, oh yeah, I should go and do the main story, and then you're finally
mm-hmm.
on your way.
Exactly, and it's true. So I'm like, I can't believe you're almost like you're like right behind me in the story. Like, you're right behind me. You know, I'm only on chapter 11. You're probably what, like 8 now or something like that. And so yeah, you're only
Yeah.
you're only a few chapters behind. You know,
Yeah.
so it's like, yeah. So yeah, exactly. Seeing the trailers, and then they brought out the voice actors, which was
Oh my
like,
god, that was so good. That was so
yeah,
crazy.
like I said, if you're a Yakuza fan or, you know, whatever, definitely, especially if you played Zero. If you played Zero, definitely check out the RGG. It was amazing having the actors out there, hearing the real people, hearing the actors with their voices, and it's like that you've known from the games. It's like even speaking in Japanese, it's like it didn't matter. It's still, it's just like, I know that person, I know that voice so well.
Exactly. And then they're just sitting there just talking to each other. They're just having their own camaraderie on stage,
Exactly,
being
cracking
silly to one
jokes.
another.
Yeah,
It's just like,
I
look at
gotta say
these.
that
And then they're
was,
all dressed to the T. They had their
yeah,
all nice suits going on. They were
looking like
decked out.
pimps. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody on Twitter is like, if I see these guys, I know I'm going to get my ass swiftly beat down and my girl taken away. They're gonna walk with my girl after they beat my ass swiftly.
Exactly. It's like, oh, it's just crazy because they just definitely look like they're a hoot to have a few drinks with, right? You know, like
Yes,
it was a good show, I gotta say. And they only showed 3 games because then right after that they
they
showed
did.
what's gonna be them telling the story between what's that one called? Like a Dragon.
Like a Dragon, that was
uh
7?
no, it's gonna be
No.
Like a Dragon Gaiden.
Oh.
Like a
Mhm.
Dragon Gaiden,
Mhm.
which is going to be the action. They're going back to action for that game. It's not going to be a RPG, you know, turn based like the way like regular Like a Dragon was, which it technically is Yakuza 7,
Mhm. Mhm.
and whatnot. And yeah, it looks like everything's gonna be called Like a Dragon from now on. So all future Yakuza games are now that it's become a worldwide phenomenon. And I was right, even before the official announcement. Apparently, it's a pain in the ass to trademark the name Yakuza for some weird reason in other countries. So now that it's become like a worldwide phenomenon of a franchise, they're gonna stick to the Like a Dragon moniker, which. Yeah, I can go either way on that. It doesn't really matter to me. The games are just too good. So they could call it, you know, shitstorm, and I would fucking still play it because the game is just fucking awesome. You
Mhm.
know.
Mhm.
So
Absolutely. I
and
don't
that
care what it's called.
yeah. So apparently, Yakuza 6 Song of Life was a send off for the main protagonist, which is Kiru Kusama. who's been in the game since the first one, and that was like his send off. And that's when 7 came out, and they weren't, it didn't have him as the main protagonist. It was, everyone took it as like a restart. But now with,
then it followed Ichiban.
Exactly, that's right. Ichiban became the new protagonist. But now what they showed is that they're gonna show you what happened after 6, pretty much, with Like a Dragon Gaiden, and then Like a Dragon 8 or Yakuza 8. It's gonna be both Ichiban and Kiryu. He's coming back for the next game. I'm not nowhere near that. I'm still debating on how I'm gonna tackle all this, because I really want to finish Kwami 2. Then there's
That's
the
why we're starting off
remasters.
right away.
I know. And then there's the
That's why we're
remasters of 3, 4, and 5, that I don't know if I'm gonna be able to touch those games. I don't know. I'll try. Maybe 3. I'll get to 3, but I don't know if I'll do 4 and 5. Like, that might be something I'll do in the future. I'm dying to get to at least 6 to see the send off of Kiryu. I feel like you shouldn't skip 6. Probably, like I said, I think the best course of action is going to be 1, 2, 3, and 6. That's what I'm reading. I'm not 100% sure. If you're listening to this, maybe let me know if 4 and 5 are super important or that worth it for the side stuff. But that might just be a YouTube video. Watch the movie, see what happens, and start 6 and finally get into Like a Dragon. Then we have Judgment. Then we have Judgment 2. Then we have, I don't know, we have so much. It's like you could, if you never play, I know, if you never play any other game and only play Yakuza, you would have so much stuff to do, or so much video games to play.
Yes.
But yeah. I also got into Kwami 2 this week. So and it's like, I was playing Horizon. I was like, I'm gonna finish Horizon, gonna finish it. And Yakuza just ripped me right out of that. I was like, let me play a little bit. And then it works on the Steam Deck. Oh man, it's verified. Yes, Steam Deck verified. It runs really well. It's not a lock 60. I'll admit, if you want like at least medium to high, you're not getting a lock 60. But I think that's just the games. I don't think those games are the most optimized, but hey, it still runs well enough for that style of game. So you said that in Fortnite. Was there anything else you played this week?
I did play an indie game that I was given a key to, the end of Nahual, if I may say so, from Third World Productions. And honestly, it was, for what I played about maybe 2 hours of it. It had a lot of reading. It was very, I guess I want to say it's like, it was very, very yappy. It went on just rambling. It felt like in the opening, and it was a bit much.
Yeah, so it doesn't sound like you had very much fun with that game.
It was a bit much, the opening, like the training part of it, or like the beginning portion of it, that you had to like, it explained a lot of stuff. I'm like trying to just explain it, because it was just like, you're in an area, you meet this one spirit thing, and then he just goes rambling, and then it's just kind of a lot of reading to explain what you have to do, and then it's just kind of, I don't know, it was just too much.
Yeah.
The puzzles were cool when you did get to certain places, and the visuals and stuff were really cool because it's a surreal puzzle game. But it just felt like a lot. Maybe afterwards it'll get a little better, but I didn't get too far in it. So you can check it out. It is only on the Xbox console, not on
PC or anything, right?
Oh, well. Yeah, because I tried to find it on there, but if anybody does want a game key and you have an actual Xbox One and up, I do have a game key.
Stop trying to take up my hard drive space with that trash.
Comment. Leave a comment. And yeah, I can get that to you, if anything, if you're really interested.
In a game that you didn't like.
On a game that I didn't like. Maybe somebody else would like to check it out and finish it. Maybe this was on somebody's radar. If this was on your radar,
throw it in the trash.
Sure.
I'm just kidding. But yeah. Well, like I said, I was playing some Horizon, and I don't know what it is with that game. It's like it looks great. It is fun. The quests are fun, but it's just so easy to just walk away from and play something else. It's like, oh, what's that game over there? Bye. You know what I mean? It's just like,
I know you got pulled away from it way too easy. But let's give let's just we're talking about Yakuza here.
exactly.
So
And not only that, it's like Elden Ring was the other game that like pulled me away. You know, it was just like it was Elden Ring, and I gave it a shot, and it sucked me in. I couldn't stop playing, and that was it. So I do want to try to go back to Horizon. I'm like, I want to just finish that game already, but
yeah, don't worry about that game. Just get an Xbox.
And I'm trying to enjoy it. Like I'm enjoying this. It's not that I'm not enjoying it. That's the thing. It's not like I'm not enjoying my time in Horizon. It's just, I don't know. It's not the game. It's not blowing my mind every little while. It's not doing anything. It's like, oh, the story, yes, but like a lot of the little stuff, it's just like, all right. It's fine. It's good. It's a good game. It's just, I don't know. Like I said, 5 minutes, or let's say an hour rather, into restarting Yakuza or starting Kiwami 2. It's like I'm already cracking up. I'm laughing. I'm already sucked back into the story. There's all this twists and turns happening. So it's just like, So it's like I don't want to stop playing it now.
And what's so good, I'm sorry, I'm going to just ramble on about Yakuza really quick again. And what's so awesome about Yakuza is starting off Kiwami 2 is that it catches you up on story if you're not up to date with it. If you didn't play anything, like the beginning portion, you go and you go and pay respects, right? And then it's like, do you want to catch up on the story? And then it goes game by game. Each little portion, it sums up 0,
Oh,
and
it
then it's like,
does?
yeah, it goes to 0. It does the whole story for 0,
Oh
and then
shit.
it stops, and then it's like, do you want to keep hearing more story? Like, do you want to still get more background on it? And then you keep on going, yes, until you're finally to Kwami 2. It keeps on going. It stops like 3
Oh.
times actually.
Huh.
Yeah, and I was like, oh yes.
So maybe I will just
Yes.
like I said, I want to at least see the PS3 games, like what, and try it out and see what they were doing. I actually owned them, well, quote unquote owned them, because they were given out on PS Plus years ago, and I was
Yeah, I
like,
have them
oh,
too. Hell yeah.
yeah, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I remember they gave out 3, then they gave out 4, and then 5, and I was like, oh, I never tried these, but what about 1 and 2? And I was always stuck on like 1 and 2, and I never, and I could have just started 3, but I never did, and now, so I want to at least give it a chance. And like I said, they're all on PC. They run great on Steam Deck, so it's like, I'm definitely gonna at least try 3 out and go from there. But
Hell yeah.
but yeah, I think that's that's it for that. We should move on to news. We have a lot to cover.
Yes.
But first, like stuff before we go over, like, again, we have videos up for State of Play and Nintendo Direct. So we're gonna cover a little bit of news this week, and what we got for this, that actually happened after those things happened. So Kojima's teasing a new game. Oh, and I know we know where Kojima stands here, but apparently it's gonna be what's her name again? Fanning.
Elle Fanning, Dakota Fanning's sister.
Yeah, so it was like a picture of a silhouette of a woman, and it's like, who am I?
Yeah, he
And
changed it on the Kojima Productions website. He just changed it on there, and everybody's speculating. And then somebody on Twitter went ahead and started matching the actress's face.
Yep. And next thing you know, it's like it fits. Her ears are a little like off centered and everything, and looks exactly like her. So I guess a game with her in it is coming, whatever that means.
People are kind of I think they're assuming that it's part of Death Stranding too.
Who knows? Maybe that's what they thought. Because remember, they were like, oh, there's a game that looks like Mama's in the game, and blah 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 blah. So maybe it was her and it wasn't the other girl. I don't know. Who knows?
I don't know, but I'm excited.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see what happens. I mean, that's all that got mentioned now. In drama news, so now the CMA, which is like the people who worry about like competition stuff like that in the UK, released a statement that they pretty much, they officially are launching a probe to look into the Sony Activision deal. And Xbox is like, look, like, all right, fine, like we can't give up Call of Duty on PlayStation. We can't take it away from PlayStation because they're the leading console maker. It would hurt us more taking it away. They said that previously, but I guess it got mentioned again. And yeah, it looks like it's going to be scrutinized even further. So now Sony's all happy about that, like like
He threw a stick in their tire and
exactly.
slow it down.
It's like it's gonna happen. It's all but officially gonna happen. But
He's stretching it out so much.
Exactly, like Sony's gonna fight this tooth and nail. And I feel like even if it goes down the drain, I'm almost certain that Activision is gonna give Microsoft the what's it called, the marketing rights. I don't know. I feel like now they've probably built a relationship with Microsoft. I could see them saying, Microsoft begging or at least paying and saying, hey, look, fine, we couldn't buy you. Here's X amount of dollars to give us the marketing rights, then, and go from there and have, the extra things. And everyone's like blowing up on Twitter because they're like, oh, Microsoft, Xbox, PlayStation's saying all this stuff and blah, blah, blah about, the competition's not going to happen. And then it's like, there's like some skins that are only going to be available on the PlayStation version of Modern Warfare 2. Oh, that's the other game I played. I actually tried the Modern Warfare 2 beta today, which is so far so good. I was having a good time on that. But yeah, they got the to try. PlayStation users got to try it out first. Like they locked down like the first 2 days of the early access, beta access. So everyone's like, oh, look at that, Sony's crying and saying all this stuff, but yet they pay to stop competition. And I'm like, but see, but people are stupid saying that because there's a difference. See, that is competition. They're not stopping the game from being on Xbox. They're paying money to allow certain things to be on PlayStation first. Xbox needs to strike those deals up and say, hey, we'll double whatever they're offering, and so we can have some of those rights to the market or something like that. They like they just made a better deal, and that's all it is.
Kind of playing ball there. Yeah,
exactly. They just made a better deal and than Microsoft ever has. And it's just like you buying out the competition or buying that developer means you don't have to make deals with Sony. The opportunity is just gone now. See, there's a difference between I own it, so you can't touch it, and I don't own it, but I have a better deal than you. Like, but they could also always leave me at any time and say, we want to go back with, Microsoft, we're going to go with them. But it's like, it's probably good business for Activision at the time as well to give the bigger console manufacturer the marketing rights. Like, go with us. We have a much bigger install base. People have have been coming to us for this,
exactly.
whatever. It was Microsoft's fault back in 2013, whatever, when they lost those rights. They lost those rights back then because Microsoft was the 360 was probably as popular as it was because of Modern Warfare. Once Modern Warfare came out, that's when it went into the zeitgeist of gaming. That's when everybody was playing that, except for me. I was still on Halo because fuck Call of Duty at the time.
Oh yeah.
But so many people got a 360 specifically because they liked the controller. It was better than the PS3s, and it just felt good to play a shooter on console like that. So 360, and Microsoft probably didn't really. It was a completely different regime. They were looking to do everything about TV. So it's their fault for giving that up. If they didn't, we might be, things might be different today. But yeah, so there's that. So they're still fighting that. You can go read up on that. Something really interesting though. I know that you never really played them or know much, but Konami is finally jumping back into the gaming scene, and the first thing that they're doing is something that people have been asking for forever, is for a new to re-release Suikoden games. Well, the people have been wanting a sequel or something, but Suikoden 1 and 2 are being remastered, and they're coming in 2023, and it looks great. And like
it does look great.
Yeah, right.
Like you said, I've never played it, but looking at it, it looks really nice.
Like
and
this
is quality Konami.
Exactly. Like this is the type of port from for an old 16-bit looking game. You know what I'm saying? That everybody wants. That Square, like, for some reason, I mean, they have that 2D, 3D thing that they've been doing with, so those look nice, but with Final Fantasy, this is the type of treatment Suikoden is, the treatment Suikoden is getting is what everybody would have wanted out of Final Fantasy. Give us those
Mm-hmm.
ugly pixels, but make the surrounding areas maybe more HD, maybe a little 3D
Yes.
or whatever. Like that's like this is the, like I said, the remaster that everybody would have wanted for Final Fantasy, and maybe Square, doubt it, but maybe Square will take a, realize that, when they see this, because it looks fantastic. So
It
definitely
looks really
check
nice.
out that
Yes.
trailer if you like old turn-based RPGs. And yeah, speaking of beautifulness, during the ID at Xbox, Level 5's Ni no Kuni is coming to Game Pass or Xbox. I don't know if it's coming to Game Pass. Definitely coming to Xbox, which looks great. Which sounds awesome, because that's a franchise that's still kind of going with their mobile game now, but apparently that's like an NFT game.
Oh Lord.
But if you like the Studio Ghibli and you never gave this a chance, I highly recommend at least watch that opening cinema of Ni no Kuni, because that game, the gameplay, I will admit, isn't the best, because it's like a Pokemon style, but it's kind of hard to fight with and the game's a little bit grindy, but it's a gorgeous looking game.
It's
The
beautiful.
gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. The story is so worth seeing. Like if you like I said, if you like Studio Ghibli movies, this is like something I wish they could take and make it into like a 2-3 hour movie. They totally could do that. Take all the best
Mm-hmm.
parts of this game and turn it into its own movie. It would be totally worth it. It's a great story.
I know.
Uh,
I need to give it a go, especially now that it's on the Xbox.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it'll be on Game Pass. So you could just, I guess I'm pretty sure it's still on Game Pass. You could probably just download and try it out finally.
Oh, that's right. It just I remember you were checking it earlier. It was on the recently added. So
Even
yeah,
though
it's in there.
because it's grinding, it's honestly probably better on Steam Deck. So like that's like gonna always be the issue with games coming to Game Pass or PC. It's like that game's on Steam. I'd rather just have have the option to play it on the Steam Deck, especially a grindy ass game
That's
like
true.
that. That's what I mean. Tell me, it hasn't been awesome being able to jump in Yakuza really quick on your Steam Deck, do a
Oh
couple
my
of
God, it's
quests,
been amazing.
and then stop real quick. You know what I mean? That's what the
It's been
Steam Deck
great.
is great for things like that.
It's been super useful. Yeah.
So um speaking of super useful, something not super useful, for some weird reason, PlayStation VR 2 won't be backwards compatible
That makes no sense.
with PSVR, the original PSVR. It doesn't. Like, I get that, like, so apparently the reason is that they want a next gen experience only. Like, it's only going to include next gen games. They don't want, like, I guess those corny, funky, I guess they took whatever they could get. But it's like, they're all the same shit. Why not just let people play their library? So that means that if I want to play my old library of PSVR, thank God, like, this makes me so happy that that I never invested in PSVR. Because imagine, like, on the Oculus, you buy a new one, now you can't play none of the, why not? It's just a fucking screen. Like, there's no technical reason to not allow those games. They're literally encoding it to not run PS4 games. That's all they're doing. They're just telling it, hey, you're not gonna run this. That's it. Not that there's any restriction or capability. No, they're just choosing to not allow the game to run, because all it is projecting the game onto the goggles. Like, that's all it's doing. The console's doing all the work, and the goggles are just displaying that. So why not just allow those games to run? I don't get why they're doing that. It's like they're
That's some
forcing
BS.
people to upgrade. Like, you're forced. You want to play this new
Exactly.
game? We're gonna force you to pay another $400 for our new headset.
Exactly.
Fucking
After they
bullshit.
sent out that wire, whatever, the
Right?
connector for the PS5, they're like, oh, if you want, we can send you the wire for free. Sign up here. We'll mail it out to you. And now it's just like, just forget about the whole thing.
Right? Like, just buy our new shit, because your library, you want to play those old
Don't
games,
worry
use
about
the old thing. That makes no sense. You're forcing people who are still enjoying their games, like, or like, does that mean they're gonna make people like buy their games, or they're gonna maybe they're gonna ask developers to upgrade their games? Like, that's what we need to know. Like, are you gonna make, or apparently I saw something Jeff Grubb said that he was looking for people to DM him, developers to DM him. It could be that they did change something, that the porting path to port games from Oculus to the PSVR is going to be a lot easier. So maybe there is something that's there that maybe the developer is going to have to make their game, PSVR 2 compatible. It's not going to automatically be compatible. That's the only thing I can think of. It's like we're not going to just run the game. You want the game to run here? There's probably going to be guidelines. Again, this is an assumption. I didn't really read too much into this, but my assumption is there's probably going to be guidelines. You want your game to run on PSVR 2, you got to follow these guidelines. Maybe a higher resolution, like it can't look like shit. It got to fill the whole 110 degrees or something, and it got to be designed. You got to fix your game to be, to work well with our new headset. That's the only thing I can think of. That they're just changing the guidelines on that, and maybe there'll be free upgrades. Like you want the PS5 version, here, this is the PS5 version, because the PS4 version is not going to run. Which again, that's fucking stupid, but that Sony didn't figure a better way out of that, but who knows?
It's just Sony being Sony.
Yeah, I think you have the. What's the next? You got the next.
So speaking of Sony, well, PlayStation specifically, this is a good thing. So for Hollow Knight, Silk Song is officially coming to the PS5 and PS4. Woo! Woo! That's a win. Big win.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I probably won't even play it on PlayStation, but still, that's a big win for PlayStation console owners, users, game players on there. Yeah. Yeah, because they're already people, they were already saying it's coming to it was already announced for Xbox.
Yeah.
Even though it doesn't have an exact release date as of yet, still they're just leading us on. But even so, now PlayStation's not left out of the whole thing.
I didn't think they were anyway. Like
I didn't think so either, but now it's official.
Yeah. I guess they're like, all right, Xbox said let everybody think it's just coming to Xbox first, and then you can mention it at some point.
Exactly.
But yeah. Well, I mean that was like some of the more major news that happened in the last couple of days. So like I said, then we had the Nintendo and the Sony one. Sony one was a little short, so we can cover that really quick. They opened up really big with Tekken 8 looking fantastic.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Fantastic. So if you're a fighter fan, like you got Tekken 8 looking fantastic. You got Street Fighter. They've been showing here and there through the Tokyo Game Show. That's looking fantastic.
That's right.
So the next gen of fighters is coming out now. The next reveal that we're waiting for is Mortal Kombat. That needs to come with that heat, those graphics, because fighters always look the best, because they're small arenas. You can put way more pixels and effects on small areas. So that's I'm excited. Then they showed some PSVR games. They showed like Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge, which already came out on Oculus. It's coming, the definitive edition or whatever, the enhanced edition's coming to PSVR 2. So that's good. Demio, I completely forgot what the hell Demio is. What the hell is Demio?
I don't remember what that was.
I completely forgot what that is. Let me see really quick. So many games. It's like, what are games again? Let's see. Oops. I'm playing the video. Yeah. So there was another PSVR 2 game. Oh yeah, that one looks like they took like another toy, toy kind of like board game thing, like the people
tabletop.
Yeah, like a tabletop thing, but in VR, and the characters move. And it's a card game / toy game, kind of like what those guys from Subnautica are coming out with. So that's what this looks like. So it looked all right, Then after that this is where we first saw Ishin Like a Dragon, which like I said, I was freaking out. If you watch the video, I was like, but that was awesome. Hogwarts Legacy, which was like, all right, whatever, dark. It looked crazy though. Hogwarts looked like a freaking horror game. I didn't even know what the hell I was looking at for a minute. It wasn't until I saw them with their wands, I was like, wait, this is Hogwarts. Like what the hell? But yeah, it looked crazy. It wasn't like massive amount of like actual indies, like the
Yeah,
or
no.
indie looking, but I guess the most indie looking game was Pacific Drive. Now that one,
Yes.
right? What did
That
that looked really awesome, right?
that would yeah, that was a cool looking driving game. It was a little confusing because I mean you were just kind of traveling around. It was just kind of showing a little bit of everything, but and we were just kind of having jokes during it. We
Oh
called it
yeah,
what? Drive stranding,
Drive Stranding, because
car stranding or
it
something.
looked like some crazy like. I mean, like obviously it wasn't Kojima graphics because he would probably do something way crazier, but it still looked like some horror game. But apparently, it's gonna be like a survival slash roguelite. Like, it's gonna be like almost like a roguelite. So like pretty
Okay.
much every so often, like every time you go out for a run, the hills change and stuff like that. So making
That
every
sounds
run
cool.
different and unique and stuff like that. So yeah, it's the more hear about the game, the more I'm like, I'll check this out. This looks like it
Yeah.
could be really fun. And oh, I forget you can get out of your car. I thought it was just driving. So yeah, it's cool. It looks like your car is gonna be a big part of the game, and while you go out looking for scavenging for stuff. So definitely
Okay.
something to keep an eye out for.
That sounds fun, like a road trip sim kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Then they had that Sin Duality game, which looked really interesting, like kind of like the mecha
Ah,
looking
yeah.
anime kind of game. And I'm like, I don't know how to feel about this one yet. I need to see more of it.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's gonna have like harvesting and stuff, like probably some crafting. It looks like it's probably gonna be fun, but I guess we'll be waiting on that because again, I have no idea.
Yes. Yes, exactly. It's very vague, these things. You just see the anime and machines and sparks and stuff like that. It's just like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
And then, but Project Eve, I think that when we first saw Project Eve, it was like okay, that looked okay, it looked interesting, but it wasn't enough. Now it got an official name, Stellar Blade.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks interesting. Like this
It
looks like it
looks
could be,
good.
yeah, like a lot of fun. I'm really into this. Like I really want to see what the hell this game's gonna be about. Like what are they gonna,
Mm-hmm.
where are they gonna go? How much jiggle physics are they gonna use? All the important things. Because my lord, um, boob stranding, we were calling it.
Yes. See, and I noticed that too, by the way, the extra jiggle. I'm like, are my eyes deceiving me, or is there some extra jiggle going on? And there was definitely extra jiggle going
Those
on.
boobies do jiggle jiggle, not fold. Oh man. What was after that? Oh, this game, the next game was another one that was really
Ah,
interesting,
yes.
was Rise of the Ronin, which is going to be
Mm-hmm.
by Team Ninja, the people who did the Neo games, which were supposed to be really good. And yeah, it looks like it's taking place almost a similar time as the Yakuza game. So it's going to be another sword, I mean, katana and gun game taking place in the late 1800s,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
during the end of the samurai period. And it looks awesome. 1863 Japan, like it looks freaking awesome. I'm
Yeah.
excited for that. I have to play the Neo games. I own the enhanced editions on PS5, which I haven't gotten around to yet, but I definitely want to get around to those games. And this looked fantastic. I don't know. I like the
Mm-hmm.
time period that
Mm-hmm.
it's taking place in, looked
Yeah,
really
exactly.
interesting.
It's supposed to be a open world too, so it's just I like
Yeah.
open world stuff. So it's really bottom line.
Yup.
I just like open world stuff, so I would love to see just the take a scenic route and just kind of look
Exactly.
at everything and I guess fight too. I mean,
This is gonna
it's
be
part of the
like
game.
their like Tsushima game, kind of thing. Because
Yeah.
you see
Yeah.
him like, oh man, it looks so good with the musket, with the freaking knife at the end, with the
Yes.
uh what's that called, the bayonet at the end or
Mhm.
whatever.
Mhm.
And you see him like doing slashes and stuff. That game just looks fantastic. Like that's why I'm like, it was, you don't see a lot of new IPs that you care about. And I don't know, I thought, up to this point, I thought we were seeing some cool stuff. Like I get it, like Hogwarts, nobody cared about that. Pacific Drive is an indie game, and Sindu Alley looked like a weird kind of like, anime survival crafting, kind of action craft, with crafting in it, and
Mhm.
which I need to see more of that. But I get those three things, but everything, and then I guess nobody cared about the PSVR game. So I would say out of like it was half of it was just okay stuff. The other half was like actually pretty decent things. You know what I mean? Out of 10
Mm-hmm.
out of 10 things,
Mm-hmm.
like almost everything was great here. Because well, not the controller thing. They get you all excited. They show God of War. It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna sell a controller.
We were so excited, and then they're just like, hey, how's about a controller?
Yeah, it's like you didn't need to do this, but okay. I guess throw that in the mix because nobody gives a fuck. But then after that, they go and they end it with the God of War Ragnarok trailer, and finally an official,
strong.
exactly, big trailer that shows different areas, new monsters, new mechanics. It looks freaking awesome.
It looks good.
What did you think?
It looks good.
Looks good. Yeah,
I'm excited. I'm excited. People still are like on Twitter arguing back and forth. Because people are begging for trailers. People have been begging for more, 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 more. Then they put out the trailer and people are like, oh, they showed too much. Like, have you not been begging for stuff this whole time? Like,
I,
honestly, I'd rather have less because, like, what you did see in the trailer, like you see the different things. Well, you see a few characters, and then you're just like you see Kratos already arguing with boy the Atreus, and I don't know, it just got me excited. I didn't need to see much more. It showed a lot more, and I don't know, I'm not a complainer either way. I thought it was sufficient. Maybe they could have shown less because a few of the things in the trailer I was just like confusing.
But that's what I'm saying.
But
But it was vague. So that's why I'm like, I don't
that's
understand how it's too
exactly.
much when you have no idea what the hell's going on. None of this makes sense yet. Like, I don't really analyze it too much either. So it's like,
Exactly.
I think it was vague enough that like you don't really know what's going on. Like you just see that there's cool shit happening and him fighting cool different monsters in different scenes.
Yeah.
So it's like that's all that I think it did a fantastic job showing like the game without ruining much of the story, which is like, and come on, and
Exactly.
if you got to see like these 5-6 things that they showed, it's like that means that I'm sure there's tons more that they're not showing, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. There's
and
so much more to it. So how are you really complaining
and
that they put too much?
exactly, and honestly, I don't think I want to see another trailer. I don't want to see anything else. I saw enough with that one. I'm ready to
Exactly.
move on, and I'm hype, so it's
Yeah.
like, well,
They did great with hyping up. Yep.
I think a lot of people finally got excited for the game. I'll admit that, I've been excited, but I understood why people were like getting nervous because it was like they haven't shown anything. There hasn't been anything going on with the game, and I think they were just playing it safe, making sure it was really not going to get delayed. They, like
Mhm.
you can't,
Mhm.
they already announced the release date, but still, like I don't think they want the hype train to start just yet. I think now, this next 2 months is going to be like the hype train, which I don't
Oh
want to hear
yeah.
about the, and even then there's fatigue, like hype fatigue, like, like they did with Deathloop. That Deathloop was like played the fuck out. It was at every
Oh
event,
yeah.
and it wasn't
Yep.
that great of a game. Like they pushed that game so hard,
They
and
did.
Deathloop was not that good, and it got perfect scores. And I'm like, no, like I don't see why it got perfect scores. It was different and it was interesting, but perfect
Mhm.
score, like nah. Like I don't see why that game got because it didn't enter the zeitgeist the way Elden Ring did. It
Oh
wasn't
yeah.
it wasn't
No.
being
No.
like talked about. It wasn't being memed. It wasn't nobody was. That's when something's really like hitting like
Yes.
that's widely enjoyed. Nobody talked about that game after it released. And it
Mhm.
was a buggy mess. The AI was not smart. It was Deathloop was not that great of a game. It was not that good. The actors were okay. Like I said, the premise was okay, but like the whole like you have to do everything in one day and all that, like it was all right. It was just okay to me. Like I don't know, and a lot of people have the same sentiment. Like it was just okay. For being hyped the way it was, like it was like this perfect game. No, even Elden Ring wasn't hyped that much. We saw like a
Mhm.
couple of trailers, and then they had like a like an online test, and that was it. And then the game came out, and everyone fucking bought that shit.
Yes. Everybody bought it. Mm-hmm.
But yeah. But yeah. So that was a really good showcase, I thought, for PlayStation, for what it was, for being a small, it wasn't like the greatest thing ever, but for being a small direct, not really a showcase. You know, it was only 20
Mm-hmm.
minutes long, 10 games each. I mean, 2 minutes each for 10 games. Like, that was it. It showed a fighting game, it showed some VR, it showed, you know, a Yakuza game. You know, it had only one like real indie looking game,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
three Japan, you know, anime or Japanese looking games, and God of War, like, and closed on God of War. So it's like, it was nicely rounded out. You know, had a little bit of
Yes.
everything sprinkled in there, and that's all it needed. And I think it did good for what it was. You know,
Mm-hmm.
compared to
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo, that Nintendo had a 40-minute direct showing like triple the amount of games, and a lot of them were like fucking farming games. Like, you know, and, it
Yes.
kind of got a little crazy with it, right?
Yes, yes. It's just like the what was it? The wholesome games with all their frog games. There was a theme. It felt like it was happening. You have all these farming sims.
Yeah,
Come harvest your plants and make friends and do this. And it's like two two other trailers after. Make friends, have your land, and harvest your stuff. Like, oh, another one.
yeah. So it's like,
Insane.
well, I mean, at the very least, they, you know, so we can go down a little bit. Like, they opened with Fire Emblem, which they had been sitting on. I don't know if you knew this, but that game had been done for like months, and they just hadn't, or I
Oh.
think almost a year, as a matter of fact. They just hadn't released it yet. Like, it apparently wasn't time to, and they were waiting for
Oh.
a good time to do that. Then after that, they show It Takes Two. That's interesting. I thought that was cool. It Takes Two is coming. That seems
Yes.
like a no brainer for the Switch. And, you know, bringing down the graphics and resolution for that game is probably not a big deal.
Mhm.
And you know, and that game that's a great ad for the Switch. One that
Mhm.
I have to look into more, but I was a fan back in the PS2 days, was Fatal Frame. Fatal Frame was like, I was surprised that, you know, this game is still, they're still trying to come out with Fatal Frame games, because that
Yes.
game, you never played a Fatal Frame, right?
No, you've told me all about them
Yeah,
because
those,
of you really enjoyed them,
they're
but
freaky
I'm
as
too
shit.
scared.
Yeah.
I'm
Like, you
scared.
play, you always play as like some like young girl, you know, like, you know, maybe like 20 years old, something like that, walking around, and all you have is a camera, and you go into a house, and the camera, it's like a magical camera that when you take pictures of the ghost, it hurts them, and that's your weapon. You got to keep taking
Yes.
pictures of them.
Yes.
And, you know, um so yeah, that started on the PS2 days. Gaming was always really freaky. But yeah, looks like they're coming out with a new one, and that's interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
Xenoblade Chronicles expansion,
Yes.
that's cool. SpongeBob SquarePants: The Cosmic Strike. What's that about again? Get Let's see.
SpongeBob. And then you have Patrick as a little sprite that's following you. I
Yeah.
forgot what they mentioned the story
Oh
would be about.
yeah, that's right. Oh, I don't think I looked that much at this game. I think I was driving and walking around during some of this. So, oh, it looks fun though. It looks like a fun little platformer. I probably,
Yeah, exactly. I figure we can get that for the kids because what the battle at Bikini Bottom was a little too hard. Maybe this one's a little not so bad.
yeah, this one looks like it may not be so difficult. It looks fun. It
Mhm.
looks awesome. I love the graphics. See, the games like this, the graphics always look so nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then a weird surprise was Fist of the North Star, or the fitness boxing Fist of the North Star.
Yes, I want that.
And what's crazy is that it's using the Yakuza, the Fist of the North Star Yakuza game like animations. It looks like it took the characters from that.
I love it.
Maybe they couldn't bring the game to the Switch, so they're just bringing this little mini game. I don't know. It's so weird.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's got
I
to be
just
by, who made this? I have to see, but it looks like, I mean, it's probably Sega. But yeah. And they had like a little party game called Oddballers. That looks like it'll be fun multiplayer, you know. And that's what
Mhm.
the PlayStation's great for.
Mhm.
Um
Mhm.
Tunic, you know, which started on Game Pass, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Is
Mhm.
coming to
Mhm.
Switch. That's good. Front Mission first, the remake, and Front Mission second, or Front Mission 2 remake, and as well as Front Mission 3 at a later time is coming out. That's interesting if you like those games. Those games are from like the 3DS, DS, or I think it's starting Game Boy Advance. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure Front Mission either started Game Boy Advance or DS, something like that. But it might have even been Super Nintendo. I'm not 100% sure. What else? Story of Seasons. That was the first like farming game they showed there. It was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Then Splatoon Splatfest coming back. Octopath Traveler
Right.
Part 2 is coming out. I did not expect that. I actually need to go and like play that game because that game's a lot, and I don't know, for some reason I just never had the urge to play that. But yeah,
I know you got to finish that one so you can go on to Octopath Traveler 2, because then you have a whole new set of people that you're following the lives of in there that are all intertwined.
we'll see because if it's a, maybe I'll just play Part 2. Then you had the next farming game, Fae Farm, where you farming stuff. Then there was Theater Rhythm, which I thought, yes, that looked awesome. I never got a chance to really play them on 3DS. Always heard good things. This might be the first one I actually purchase. So definitely looking forward to that.
Yes.
Right? Like some Final Fantasy.
I love it.
That's your jam, music. Right?
I love rhythm games. I love Final Fantasy music.
Oh,
it's not only gonna have Final Fantasy music, because then they had the
well, this is gonna be like Squaresoft IPs. Yeah, like the DLC is gonna include
stuff. Yeah, but still, that's great. I love that. I love it. I can't wait.
I just realized on this screen here that there's they quickly show what's her name? There's Alphino and
Alize?
Not Alize, the cat girl, angry cat girl.
Wait, angry cat girl.
Ishtola.
I'm like, angry.
Yeah,
I know.
She's
always.
What's her name? That Lise that she took. She has the thing. She still has the thing on in this one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and Thancred. So I didn't realize that. So it's gonna have some. Yeah, it looks like. It says it right on the top left. Final Fantasy 14 music. Oh my God. Yeah, just because of that, Final Fantasy 14. I have to get to. Yep. Oh man. Then they showed Mario Rabbids Sparks Hope. That Mario Rabbids game, I really want to get. Like, I really want that game. That game looks like it's gonna be too much fun to pass up. That might be a day one for me. The Mario Rabbids game from Ubisoft. Definitely looking forward to that. Hell yeah. What else we got? Then they showed some Nintendo 64 games that are coming, which was Mario Party and stuff like that.
Mario Party 2, Mario Party 3, and I forgot what
was it. Just GoldenEye? Was GoldenEye mentioned there?
And GoldenEye was mentioned there, yes, with the multiplayer.
Yeah, that was really weird with the whole thing with GoldenEye. How like they. So apparently the story goes that Microsoft made a whole remake. Remastered the game. It looked amazing. It looked really good. And then Nintendo said, "No, we don't want that to go down." And then all of a sudden, now they, for the anniversary, they wanted to release the game, but it's only going to have online multiplayer with the Nintendo 64 emulator. They're both using the same ROM, but the emulator is what jerry rigs, what tricks the software into thinking it's connected locally. So. So it'll be online, but it'll still be split screen, meaning you'll see your friend's screen on your TV or your Switch, which that's gonna be ridiculous if you don't play it on your TV. Imagine playing GoldenEye against a friend, split screen on the little ass Switch screen. Like, that makes no sense that they did this. Such a lazy fucking I swear Nintendo is like the worst. Like, they're the worst when it comes to this shit. Anyway, moving on. Various what was it? Various Day
Life.
Various Day Life. Yeah, is that another farming? That wasn't a farming game, right? No.
That wasn't a farming game. No.
Sounds like one, the way it's but it's a management sim, it seems like. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, Factorial, which already exists on Steam. Another kind of farming, collecting resources type of thing that you make, and then that you turn into machines to do for you. Marvel Strikers is getting an update. Atelier Riza Alchemist, Ryza 3, or Alchemist of the End of the Secret Key. I don't know anything about
There's
that series.
Ib.
The fuck is a Ib?
Ib is a game that I would like to play. It's actually already out on Steam. It's a creepy art gallery. It's 2D. It's kind of weird looking. The animation looks like it was kind of drawn like a child in some bits. But I'm very interested. Thank you very much.
It looks,
and it's overwhelmingly positive on Steam, by the way.
oh shit. Well,
Yes.
Steam Deck, because there's no reason to get it on Switch.
Yeah.
Sorry, I completely missed that. Mario Kart 8 booster course pass.
Yes, the holiday tracks.
Yep. That's going to be the third update out of the 8 or whatever that's coming out or something like that. What else? Nintendo Switch Sports Golf update. And then the big one. What's the big one?
Pikmin 4. We did it.
Another farming game, kind of. Not really farming, right? Management game.
Pikmin management game. Yes.
Realman. That's Realman.
Realman.
Not Fakeman. Not Fakeman that you've been playing. That was Realman.
Tinykin.
Realman 4.
Realman 4. Shut up.
Oh,
listen,
man.
You better leave my Pikmin alone. I was hoping for it. I'm over here trash talking Tinykin, and you're like, shut up with you and your complaints. And I'm just like, no, it's not Pikmin. And here we are. Now it's Pikmin.
Now it's Pikmin.
I'm so excited. They didn't even announce date, right? That was 2023.
They didn't show anything. It was just a tiny little teaser.
It was just them showing the 3D world that you're gonna be in. You can
Pikmin
see at the level of the Pikmin as you're tossing the Pikmin. I'm so excited.
Realman.
Shut up.
My personal favorite, Just Dance 2023 edition. No, Harvestella.
Harvestella.
Jinx.
Yes.
That is the only one that I'm interested in, because it looks like it's gonna have like a whole drawn out story and RPG
that
and
one looks good.
fighting, and then in it will be some farming and
stuff.
So that's why I'm like, this looks like something worth a shit. Like, oh, there's a demo offered, so I gotta go try that out.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, see, there's gonna be a whole fighting, so that looks good. That looks really, really good.
Yes.
And then Bayonetta 3, that's, they talked about that a little bit more. Rain Code. What the hell was Rain Code again?
Rain Code. I remember Rain Code. Rain Code sounded like it looked good.
That's the from the people who make Danganronpa games.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah, the detective game and stuff like that. Okay, so
I want to try that.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna look like it's gonna be up your alley there. I still, like I've been saying, I still recommend playing Danganronpa at some point. Like, give it a shot, read through it. That's a game that you just want to read, and you don't really want to play it. You just want to read something, and like it has obviously has some interaction in it, but it's like one of those, like, you really have to wait for it to build up to the craziness.
I kind of like that though, like the drama and the build up and suspense.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
It has a lot. It has a lot of Persona vibes to it, even though it's completely separate. It's a lot. Think like Persona, like with the whole like weird, like you don't know what's going on, but they don't turn into they don't turn into personas and stuff like that. It just you get into a circle and you have to figure out who's lying, pretty much. Who done it?
I like that. Like Clue.
Yeah.
Games in the bathroom with a steel pipe.
What?
Clue.
Resident Evil Village Cloud, Winter's expansion DLC, Resident Evil Biohazard Cloud, Resident Evil 3 Cloud. So if you want to Stadia up some Resident Evil on the Switch, there you go.
You want to Stadia?
Like, I don't know, that whole like the thing is like it's so weird how like this whole thing happened with like the Switch and cloud. Like it just kind of came out of nowhere. It was just like, we're gonna start streaming games to your Switch, like, so we don't, it's like, get out of here with that shit. I don't know. I think that shit is dumb. And then what's gonna happen when there's like a Switch 2 that can run those games? That's what I'm curious about. Is it always gonna only be streaming, those games, or what? But anyway, whatever. I guess they must be selling enough that so many cloud versions are coming out. Sifu's also coming to the Switch. That's cool. Crisis Core 7 Reunion, which we already knew, the remake of the Final Fantasy Crisis Core PSP game. Radiant Silvergun, Endless Dungeon, Tales of Symphonia remastered. And then they showed a montage with Life is Strange, Arcadia Bay Collection, Romancing Saga, Minstrel Song remastered. Then they showed Lego Brick Tales, Disney Speedstorm, Fall Guys Season 2. Yay! Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, that looked really good. Then they said thank you, and they finally showed that Halo is coming to Nintendo Switch. No? Is that not what happened?
Get out of here.
Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Yes.
Or is it Tears of the Kingdom?
Tears.
Tears, not tears?
Tears. Okay.
What
are they tearing? They tearing that ass up? No.
Maybe. It's all torn up because you had the sky and the ground, and maybe it's all toe up from, I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, that they finally showed the sequel to Breath of the Wild called Tears or Tears of the Kingdom, and I'm here and I want to play it. I want to jump from the sky like Skyward Sword, but Breath of the Wild gameplay.
Yes. Oh, and also, did you see the new Zelda Switch?
Oh yeah, yeah.
The OLED Switch. You're not getting that.
You're no fun.
I had to beat you to the punch because no,
I don't even want it. They're charging $10 more for that shit. I don't want it. Oh, they're probably gonna charge it. What's the other game that's coming out? Pokemon, the Pokemon Switch, OLED Switch. They're charging an extra $10 for it. Doesn't even come with the game or anything, and they're charging more money to buy that shit because it says Pokemon on it. It's like, let me etch that in for you and $10 more, please.
All right. Nintendo being Nintendo again.
Yeah. However, I mean, it was okay. It wasn't the, I figured they were going to show Zelda. This kind of sparked the whole debate because, I listened to, following Twitter and listening to a podcast that Jeff Grubb does and other podcasts. Like, so, he had mentioned, even if you don't listen to him, you would have read that Hyrule. Wind Waker HD and was definitely gonna be there. Metroid Prime remake was definitely gonna be there.
People were waiting for Metroid,
and it created this disappointment that Nintendo never said was gonna be there. And so it's like everyone was disappointed, and I was even disappointed because I really wanted Wind Waker HD to be on the Switch or whatever, even though I can emulate the GameCube versions. On the Steam Deck, but I wouldn't have minded an official version to be on the Switch. It's I love the way that Zelda looks, and it's like it sucks that it wasn't there. Metroid Prime 4 I don't really care about, but it created this whole debate of like, are leaks good? Because then when they don't, leaks are subject to change, even if they're officially like 100%, like yes. you know the source. They work for Nintendo. They're literally your uncle that works at Nintendo, and that could change. And then there were stories that went around that like they had full press releases in their hands from the company releasing the game, and they change it during they would change it during like right after the publication, or they would change it like they would show the event would happen, and the press release didn't have the games that it said it was going to show. So things are always subject to change, so leaking it out isn't always the best for consumers, and it just makes people angry when they shouldn't have been, because who the hell told you to listen to Jeff Grubb, or write about it. So that part kind of sucked or whatever, but I was a little disappointed by it not showing that, but I was happy that we got a release date for the next Zelda, because that is a game for sure gonna be all over. Some of the more hardcore fans were like, "Oh, that's bullshit. That's just the first date. It's really gonna come out. Let's wait for November." People are saying it's actually gonna be November. So I'm like, I can see that happening though, because I'm still not convinced that they're gonna release Zelda before the next Switch. I'm not convinced that that's gonna happen. I really do feel like they're gonna push that shit back and finally announce the next Switch. Let it come out during next holiday season when all these chip shortages are done, and let Zelda be the first game that comes out with it. I could totally see that happening.
That makes sense.
Where,
Sadly.
and what I mean by that is like the Zelda will still work on the normal Switch, but I just realized, or they do like a Zelda HD, or whatever they do, like the Switch 2 version of it and sell it again because it's Nintendo, and why not double dip?
As
improved
they
graphics. Who knows?
do.
Nah, because it would have to be backward compatible. So it's like you're gonna sell two versions and not just have. Well, that Sony's doing the same shit, right? So it's like whatever. It's possible that they will do that. That the enhanced edition will come out later, and they'll just sell it again for the new system. So who knows? And it'll have the first DLC or something with it.
Oh, true. Yeah.
But yeah. I think we pretty much covered everything here. There was a lot there. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the only other thing that I was actually excited for was the ID at Xbox Showcase, the indie game stuff, and that honestly was just felt like just too much talking.
It
I don't know.
was.
I guess just with the way the Nintendo Direct went and the state of play, I guess I had that expectation of like, okay, we're maybe a few games out there. Let's hit me with some trailers. Hit me with some trailers, and then it was just a lot of dev interviews, which obviously, don't get me wrong, I do appreciate the dev interviews. That's just not what I was expecting
Exactly. No,
from
I feel
this
that. I feel that
compared to the
100%.
other stuff. But a few games that I did like from there. One was called Born of Bread. So that's an RPG. It looks kind of like Paper Mario, really cute, really pretty looking. That one I don't know when any of these games coming out except for Metal Hellsingers. That
Mm-hmm.
just came out. That one looks really fun. I did play the demo. That one you have to shoot the bad guys on the rhythm, and it's really cool. It's very fast paced. It's
Mm-hmm.
really badass, honestly, because once you get the good rhythm in, your combo goes up, and then you go on fire. And that one's really badass. The other one that I did like was Yinglet.
What you call me? You
Stop
just call
being
me a
such a
yinglet?
stop stop being such a Inglet. Inglet.
Inglet.
Ynglet. It kind of looks like it gave me oh crap, I forgot the name of it. What's that other with the rhythm, but it was just kind of like ho ho come.
Oh,
It was
hey.
kind of like ho ho come.
Whoa.
It's all right to be it gave me ho ho come vibes, and then you're like traveling through as this little space dolphin thing, and you're just kind of it's going through everything. The surroundings are very reactive to you.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's kind of simple looking, the art style, but it looked really cool, and I'm for that because again, I'm big into game soundtracks and stuff like that. So that just kind of piqued my interest on there.
Hmm.
I guess the other things to look for. Oh, Ghostbusters. They also showed Ghostbusters Spirits
Oh
Unleashed.
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
That
we've talked
looked
about that.
fun.
Yeah, that I've been excited for since they first announced that a while back. And yep, that's definitely something I want to play because you get to play as Ghostbusters and as the ghosts. And yeah, that looks like it's gonna be tons of fun for sure.
Exactly, because it's a 4 versus 1 game. So that's from Elphonic. So
Okay.
they did Friday the 13th
Oh,
and Predator Hunting Grounds.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that a publisher? Or that's just the same.
Let
That's
me
a
double
studio.
check.
Because those are the guys. If you said they did Friday the 13th, is that the same guys that are doing?
That's the dev.
Also, those are the guys who are doing
Crazy
Killer
killer
Clowns.
clowns.
Yeah, Killer Clowns. Interesting.
Ilphonic.
Breaking news. Sony announces new Karate Kid movie. That's it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
What?
How many times are they gonna do? How many times are they gonna do that?
What are you talking about? It's been like 12 years since they did a Karate Kid movie.
Oh, okay, fine.
Oh, but they just announced it. There's nobody attached to it. There's no none of that. So
Oh,
who
we'll
knows?
see it in about 7 years.
Probably. No, I said they're saying June 7th, 2024. So 2 years.
Oh, okay.
A little under
Okay.
2 years.
All right. Okay.
But all
okay.
right then. Well, I think that's it from us.
I think so too.
But yeah, if you made it this far, thank you again for listening. Definitely give us a follow, thumbs up, like, subscribe to the YouTube, leave us a comment so people can find us. And tell us, what did you think of the state of play from Sony or Nintendo? Are you going to be buying video games? Do you play video games?
Do you hate any of our opinions on any of the video games?
Exactly. Like Fefer's irritable bowel game, IB.
Listen, leave my bowels alone.
No, I will not. Anyway, but yeah, definitely be on. I'm looking to move to YouTube for these streams, so be on the lookout for that. Follow the Twitter so you can see when that happens. Probably going to be after this episode. Try to be live on YouTube. So again, thanks everybody for listening. Definitely check out our reaction videos on YouTube for the two I hate you so much right now, for the two showcases that happened this week. And yeah, check out that RGG if you like Yakuza, because man, amazing.
It was amazing. If you played any of them, please go look at them. They were all looking so fly. They were all so cool looking.
Yeah, this red suit with the white shoes on.
Telling
my
you.
man was a pimp.
Seriously, absolutely.
But yeah.
Kiryu with his do-rag.
Oh yeah, the voice
like,
actor for Kiryu had a do-rag on. The announcer was like, "Oh, he got waves going on under there." I was like, "Yo, my man,
we're getting some waves here."
Yo, that shit was amazing. Amazing. All right then. Well, that's it from us. Thank you everybody, and see you on the next one.
Bye.